Hello, and welcome to the Mid-Ohio Valley Public Forum video podcast. I'm Jennifer Bryant.
And I'm Kim Van Ryn.
And we're your co-hosts. The pandemic has changed life quite a bit throughout our country.
And this is an election year. So one of the things that's changed is that candidates can't campaign the way they normally would. So we're hoping our video podcast will enable you to get to know the candidates better and make a more informed choice when you go to the polls.
We hope you're planning on voting and, check out the rest of our series on candidates. We have a whole slew of candidates who have joined us and information on those even who didn't join us. Scroll through our Facebook or our YouTube and check those out. Election day is less than 30 days away. Early voting starts October 21st, so.
Today we'll be interviewing Luke Winters. Luke is a candidate for the West Virginia House of Delegates, District 10. Welcome, Luke. We're so glad you could join us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Kim.
Well, for those of you who may have missed our conversation with Luke that we had during the primary, which we're going to link down in the comments below, take just a minute and introduce us to who Luke Winters is and tell us why you decided to run for office.
Sure. Thank you guys for having me. I very much appreciate this platform you guys are putting out here for everybody. So my name is Luke Winters. I'm running for House of Delegates in District 10. I'm from here. I've lived here my entire life. I graduated from PHS and then West Virginia University. I've been interested in politics and really improving society in West Virginia for a long time now. And when I came across Stephen Smith's campaign and the West Virginia Can't Wait campaign, at the end of 2019, it really got me interested in a run for office right now. The vision and the platform they're running on really spoke to me. They were speaking to the people, listening to the people, and the people were actually writing the platform plans. So my campaign has signed a pledge to not take any corporate cash, to never cross a picket line, to never hide from a debate, and to never punch down and to realize our fight is with the wealthy good old boys and not each other. And that's why I'm running for office.
Well, Luke, we take for granted that you're running for office to benefit the people of District 10. So what are the three biggest issues you see that impact the people of District 10?
That's a good question. There are lots of different issues that people in District 10 and across West Virginia are facing right now. It's hard to limit it to three, but the three main issues that I think we need to tackle are our opioid crisis. We have the highest rate of opioid overdose deaths in the country by far. We need to address our COVID-19 pandemic that we're currently all going through. West Virginia has seen hundreds of people die, thousands being hospitalized, tens of thousands of people being infected, and even more being negatively impacted in other ways, such as our jobs, our bank accounts, our education. And then finally, West Virginia has a problem where we can't keep our youth in the state. It's been one of my biggest dreams my entire life to stay here close to my family. But as you get older, it's harder and harder to do. We see currently 33 residents per day leave West Virginia on average, and that's not a recipe that's going to propel West Virginia in the future. We have to find a remedy to that.
Well, what plans do you have to address those three huge monumental issues?
They are going to take some doing. But let me start with the opioid crisis. So my background, I worked at the Oriana House for a year, helping people deal with their substance use issues, their mental health issues. And then I also currently transport clients to and from treatment. So I get to discuss with them daily on an intimate level what their concerns are, what they're going through, which most people aren't doing. So what we've seen is that other countries such as Switzerland, they've had opioid epidemics, and they've solved them. So the cool thing about the West Virginia Can't Wait platform is they have a recovery can't wait plan, which is very similar to what they did in Switzerland. It combines many of the things they found that were successful there. So what we need to do here in West Virginia is we currently have a backlog of people who are waiting in treatment. We have to end that backlog. So we need more treatment facilities, for one. Then we also must create a jobs program. So in Switzerland, they made a program where they would pay half of somebody's wages to have them employed for like a year. So it incentivizes the employer to employ them, and then it also gives these people a job. So we can do something similar to that here in West Virginia. And then we also need to focus more so on rehabilitation and less on incarceration. What we see is when you lock people up, it actually exacerbates the problem of addiction instead of actually helping it. And then we also need to focus more on educating our students in schools. We need to make them aware of the issues, how they are preventable, and then also we need to have mental health professionals in all of our schools for our teachers and our students. Now, as far as the COVID-19 pandemic goes, we need free testing available at all local health departments, because testing is the base how we solve this issue. If we don't know where the disease is, then we're not going to be able to stop it. We also need PPE for all, and that could be accomplished by a partnership with our local colleges or small businesses, which would also boost our economy. And then we need to make health and safety a top priority. So in our school system, let me take a step back here. So in March, when we first closed down schools, the pandemic was it was not nearly as bad in West Virginia as it currently is now, but we're putting our students and teachers, and then by extension, their families and the entire community at risk by having them go to school. So we need to make sure that their safety is a top priority while trying to maintain a quality education for them. And then, so with our population loss and not being able to retain our youth in West Virginia, we need to really talk to the youth of West Virginia and see, like, what do you guys want? Why are you leaving? What are your concerns? What's attracting you to other states? And one of the big issues is there's no good paying jobs here. For example, our teachers, we can't keep our teachers here because our salaries aren't competitive with other states. We need to increase our teachers' salaries. We need to offer universal affordable childcare for all, because you're not going to be able to start a family here if you can't afford to have your children watched and work your job. So those are a few issues, or a few aspects of how we can keep our youth here in West Virginia.
Well, Luke, voters don't often get the opportunity, especially this year, to get to know candidates on a personal level. So we'd like to take a couple of minutes and ask you a few questions about Luke Winters, the person,
Absolutely.
not Luke Winters, the candidate.
What would you say you're most passionate about?
It's tough to name one thing. If I don't say my fiance, she might be mad at me. But I'm going to have to say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've been training for a little over 3 years now. Haven't been so much lately because there's no social distancing involved with that whatsoever, and I also injured my foot. So, but I would say it would 100% be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then I know you guys say you just want to know about me, the candidate, but I also see this as a political issue. I didn't when I started it. It was really just a way to get into better shape, learn self-defense. But what I learned from doing it over the past 3 years is that it actually has many real-life applications that we could all benefit from greatly. So I've been training under 2 local police officers, and they've shown me that police officers need to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on a very regular basis. It would protect the police officers, one, And then they also don't have to use as much deadly force because they feel comfortable being in this physical altercation with this other person. So they're less likely to shoot them or to use like an abuse of power. And then also, if we could get Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instituted in our schools, it could very much cut down on bullying because it gives you a sense of it increases your confidence. And it also just, I feel like if you know how to defend yourself and you know how to fight, then you're less likely to ever need to do those two things.
So Luke, what qualities do you most value in the people that surround you?
That's a good question. It's a hard question. I would probably have to say honesty, because without honesty, then there's not going to be any kind of free flowing of ideas or communication. And then also transparency. It goes hand in hand with honesty, but I think transparency more so in the political process, where we really need to be speaking to our constituents, letting them know our issues, what our stances are on every issue, and then just being available to them. Because if we don't let them know where we stand, then they're not educated on who to vote for, and that just hurts everybody.
Well, aside from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what do you like to do in your off time?
Me and my fiance, we watch probably more Netflix than we should. And then we also enjoy going on hikes or playing with our dog. Those are probably the main ways I spend my time when I'm not either campaigning or working. Yeah, I'd say those are the big ones. Netflix and playing with our dog.
Well, with that, we've come to the end. We'd like to give you a few minutes to tell us and the voters anything you think we missed or that they need to know about you and your campaign, including how to get more information, how to get a yard sign, get involved, donate, etc.
Okay, thank you guys very much. So first, thank you again for hosting this. I very much appreciate it. I think we need more things like this, just because, like I said previously, transparency is key. We have to get our message out there and talk to the people. So a few things I didn't get to mention yet. An interesting statistics here about Wood County. So 29% of the residents of Wood County are 28 years old or younger, and then 40% of Wood County residents are 38 years old and younger. I myself am 27 years old, and the next youngest candidate running for office is 63 years old. Now that is a very big age gap, and I'm not knocking on older people at all. We need older people in our political process. They have experience that is invaluable, that we have to have. But what we're seeing right now is there's a big population in Wood County that has zero representation in the House of Delegates. And that is one of the things that I'm trying to fix here in Wood County, with trying to give a voice to the people who don't feel like they currently have one, because the people who are making the laws for them are 30, 40 years older than them, and they're not in touch with their current needs. So having said that, the ways you can reach me, my Facebook page is Luke Winters, West Virginia House of Delegates, District 10. My phone number is 304-834-9054. You can email me, lukewinters83@gmail.com. You can send me a message on Facebook. Typically replies fairly quickly. We do still have a few yard signs left. Not too many. We're getting down there, that's for sure. There's a couple more we got to put out. So if anybody's interested, shoot me a message. Also, if you'd like to donate to the campaign, my Act Blue link is on my campaign page on Facebook. And I believe that's all.
Well, Luke, we appreciate you taking the time to join us this afternoon and talk to us and help the voters get to know you a little better. Good luck with your campaign.
Thank you very much.
Everyone remember, wash your hands.